I do think that it requires leadership, and that's what we're hearing here today from Reverend Jesse Jackson. Leadership, pointing out what is possible for us. And we need more of that at Gary. Unfortunately, Gary has not had a great deal of leadership in recent years. And so having him here today is incredibly good because I think it will inspire a lot of our citizens, many of whom have almost given up, and it will inspire them to start working and get involved again and being active. And so I'm really, really pleased that Councilman Hughes had the foresight to invite Reverend Jackson to come to the city and to make the presentation that he's making.
You know what? Let's talk about servant leadership because it's clear, Mr. Hatcher, that you've been a servant leader for years. What is servant leadership?
One of the things that it means is that you don't focus on yourself. You focus on whatever the issues are that need to be addressed, and you try to help people understand those issues and get involved. Unfortunately, too many people see leadership positions as being equal to leadership, and that's just not true. They get in the position, they say, "I've made it. I'm this, I'm that," and they really don't think about why are you there? Why did the people put you there? They put you there to provide leadership and direction for them and to make their lives better, not to make your life better, but to make their lives better. And so we need more of that kind of visionary leadership here in our city. We have some, but some of them have just been beaten down almost. And so hopefully, as I said, having a Jesse Jackson come to our city, honor us with his presence. He's a giant. He's an absolute giant. He's a national treasure for us. And so having him come to our city and speak, I'm so pleased to see that because I think he is going to inspire a lot of people just by being here and what he has to say, and particularly our young people. That's the target that we need to focus on.
That's Mr. and former Mayor Richard Hatcher at the Jesse Jackson press conference. Mr. Hatcher, thank you so much.
All right, folks, we are back here on WLTH 1370 AM. And we're talking about the legacy of the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Richard Gordon Hatcher, passed away a few years ago. We got a call. Hello, caller?
Yes. Hold on. Just a moment. What year was that? Do you know the speech?
Where Mr. Hatcher was speaking?
Yeah.
That was from 2008.
Okay, the legacy.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I wanted to know, are the young people now here in our area familiar with his legacy?
Ooh, that's a very good question. I can't.
Young people familiar with. A lot of, when he went out there, some people were disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I always say is look in the mirror first.
Mm-hmm.
Before you start talking and, oh, this didn't happen, that. Can you tell me what did happen? Let's forget about what you think should happen, but tell me what he did.
Right.
One thing he didn't do, and I bet people don't even think about this, he kind of was a cause that people, whites, moved out. I know they probably blame it on him, but I don't blame it on him. If you go run, you go run. Don't blame it on nobody but yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know why?
Why?
Where did Richard Hatcher, where did he buy his home?
I don't know.
It wasn't in North.
Really? Let me just say this. I didn't live here. I was a little kid when he left office. I moved here in 91. He was already out of office. So Barnes was the mayor when I moved here as
That's when the white flight And your people were so anxious to be out in Miller,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't move to Miller.
Right.
This shows you what he thinks, the way he thinks. You don't have to run after them all the time.
Right.
You don't have to be tiptoeing behind them. And he didn't tiptoe behind them. His home was not in Miller.
Really? Where was it? I'm
It's right over there by, you know where Walgreens is? On
25th?
It's about, what, one or two, I'm trying to think, is it, I'm trying to think, it's one or two blocks before Grant
Oh,
or after Grant.
so near the Jackson house.
Oh, no, Jackson, that's about 4 or 5 blocks before you get to Grant.
Oh, okay, I get what
But
you're
I
saying.
think it's,
By that
on
church.
the other side of Grant, I'm not sure, but it's in that general area. Beautiful
Right.
home.
Right.
Beautiful home. So I let you know the way he thinks. You don't have to, yeah, but all the rest, a whole lot of you all couldn't wait to get out in Miller. And even my sister, that was quite a while after, she never wanted a home in Miller.
Right.
She bought a home in Glen Park. Everybody does not, and when I hear different people say, bye, but everybody does not want to be by the lake.
Right.
A very good example, the condos in Chicago. A lot of them is actually by the lake, especially the south end of the loop, not by the lake.
Mm.
But what I wanted to say as far as the young people, he's done so much. The Genesis Center, the Transportation Center, Hudson and Campbell,
Mm.
no tax dollar money.
Really?
Did you know the Genesis was built without taxpayers' money?
No, I had no idea that.
Yes, sir. See, this is what I'm saying. People don't realize. See, and then I hear Jeffrey and different ones who are young speaking about young people are not coming back here, what they're going to do. No, the Genesis was not bought taxpayers' money.
Wow.
And also, what do you call it? I think what I'm mistaken, the transportation in the Hudson Campbell, I think those two.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wanted to say is that at the time of Hatcher, Jesse Jackson, Martin Luther King, Andy Young, and we had Julian Bond. All of them were young,
Mm-hmm.
but they set out. They had a vision,
Mm-hmm.
and they set out and they accomplished a vision. The young people in this area, what are they accomplishing?
Mm. That's a good
What are they
question.
accomplishing? That's what I want the young people to do. I just gave you proof.
Right.
Answer, young, accomplished. Jesse Jackson, same thing.
Yeah.
You can't say, you can't leave out Martin Luther King. All these people made a difference for the United States. So young people in this area, just don't sit back and say, oh, well, ain't nobody coming back here.
Right.
And one of the main things I want to mention, it was harder back then to get anything done
Oh yeah.
than it is now.
I can imagine.
But people back there, they were on welfare.
Mm.
A lot of them didn't have, they're being paid nice. They were working, but the salary wasn't that great. Now, look at what the young people have. They're going to college. They have money. The main thing is to try to get together and have a vision for this area. See, what are some of the young people say? Oh, they need to be out. The older people need to, step aside and let the young ones. Young ones, you
Yeah.
got it. It's yours.
Right.
What are you gonna do with it? And I just wanted to share that with you because
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
I think the young people who are here should be thinking about what those, the ones I just kept mentioning,
Yeah.
should be thinking about what they did in the time. And one thing I want to end with, because my minister, Reverend Julius James, I don't know if you remember him, 2457 Massachusetts Street, he brought Martin Luther King here in the 50s because he went to Morehouse. He was a little older, but he went to Morehouse. He was a close friend of Martin Luther King. The first time Martin Luther King came here, they came to 2457 Massachusetts, and my minister, Reverend Julius James, brought him here.
Mm.
And so I just wanted to let you know that at the group that my minister was in, I forget, there was a lot of ministers and a few attorneys was in a group, and they were going around trying to integrate The bank on Fifth Avenue there. Kroger's are sitting on Virginia Street. But the hardest place for them to integrate was Market Park.
Yeah, oh, I can imagine.
Excuse me. Actually, integrate Marquette Park. Just a little history that some people
Right.
may not know.
Right. Thank you very much for your call. I'm from Miller, so that's very interesting to me. Call back anytime.
Sure.
But I have to get to these other calls. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Okay, let me go to another call. Hello, caller.
Hello, sir.
Hey, what's up, brother? What?
Do people try to compare what went on in 1968 versus 2021?
Ooh.
Did you get a chance to listen to Ancient Constitution?
Yeah, I was there.
Did you hear Dr. Smith
Mm-hmm.
and the way he told?
Oh yeah.
That's why I like to listen to Dr. Smith.
Right.
He's not gonna cut the room.
Mm-hmm.
He told about the mishap when Hatcher first came in office and
Right.
all the problems that was going on. He told about his history of being a council person and he ain't here. He told the truth. He didn't just say, oh, everything was all great.
Right.
Because you gotta think of it like this. When Hatcher, Jesse Jackson, Carl Stokes, who was that's the big argument, who was the first black
Cleveland.
because they was elected at the same time.
Right, Cleveland.
Yeah, and if you do the research and you go by time,
Mm-hmm.
Carl Stokes.
Right. They were elected the same day, but
He
Yeah.
was put into the position before.
right.
If you go by time.
Right.
But that was during the civil rights movement.
Mm-hmm.
When Dr. Smith wrote, when he talked about the grant and the money that was coming in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Because during the civil rights, the government wanted to do anything they could to satisfy minorities. We're going to give you any grants you want. We're going to do this. And when you compare the steel mill, what the steel mill was putting into Gary
Mm-hmm.
back then versus to what they put into Gary now,
Mm-hmm.
you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Tax dollars and
Then
everything.
when I talk to a lot of my older customers, and I've got a lot of older family members here, they was telling me about the money that they made
Mm-hmm.
in the steel mill.
Right.
So when you say, well, people want to make the money back then, 85% of the people that lived in Gary worked in the steel mill.
Right.
They was big money. I sit and talk to some of the older guys at the CFW, and they tell me about how they would park their car on 26th and 3rd
Mm-hmm.
and walk east and would visit 25, 30 clubs
Wow.
without having to go back to their car.
Wow.
So when you try to compare what went on then versus now,
Mm-hmm.
why would we do this? I don't think it was the young generation that was on these boards and in these offices when the downfall came as far as the mismanagement of a lot of money.
Right.
We'll go with the school board, how everybody talks about the young people.
Right.
What's no young people on that school board when people were using credit cards to go out of town?
Oh yeah.
People were using credit cards for their own personal use. People was just doing what they do. And you know how they say kicking the can down when they say kick the can down?
Yeah. Kicking. Yeah.
Do you remember when, and I bring this up all the time, do you remember when Mr. Hawkins told the citizens in the board, hey, we're losing students, we need to close down some of these schools and build one state-of-the-art school?
Right.
What did they do with Mr. Hawkins?
They got rid of them.
Got rid of them.
Yeah.
Because they had to keep their friends with the jobs. And at this time, I still live in here.
Yeah.
I had 3 kids in the Gary school system. So when somebody holler, oh, I don't live in here, I lived in Gary for 20 plus years before I moved. And I moved because I got tired of getting crushed. I'm saying, like, and my wife, and it's time to go.
Right.
When people try to talk about what the younger people want to do, you keep up with politics. How many times has younger people wanted to step forward to run for office? And the older people that was in the office told them, hey, it ain't your turn.
Oh, that happens. It happened to somebody I know personally.
And we know who we're talking about.
Right.
We're talking about the same person. So when you always talking about, well, young people this, young people that. Young people will, I'll say it like this, they'll get tired quick.
Yeah.
And they'll say, if it's what you want, we go.
Right. And that's what a lot of them are doing.
There are so many educated people in the Gary school system that went on to other places.
Yep.
And they are doing great.
Yeah.
Where when they tried to do it in their own community, they had so much influence, we're going to say instinct, to keep them out. And if you wasn't part of the clique, the clique's been going on for years. I talked to a lot of older stuff, and they tell me about the cliques back in the days, Fable, Roosevelt, and all that.
Yeah.
All that was going on.
Yeah.
You just got to sit back and just say, whoa. But quit saying that the young people don't want to do nothing.
Right.
They get tired of being shut out.
Right.
They get tired of people telling them, well, you're not part of the clique.
Right.
Or when they do run for office, the first thing somebody says to them, the person that we're talking about, who told you can do that?
Yeah.
You have to get permission to run for.
Right.
And
Right.
when I heard that myself, it wasn't nothing that I was told. I heard it for myself. And you just have to look back. Now, we do have older politicians that will take a younger person under their wing.
Right.
I see it with Eddie Miller.
Mm.
An older politician brought him under the wing and said, hey, this is how we're going to do this. I'm going to teach you the game, and Eddie's doing great. But how many other older politicians have done that?
Not a lot.
If you don't train somebody for a job, then you put them in a job, what you think will happen? It's like a business. If I don't train my kids to take over my business, something happened to me, what happened to the business?
It's going to fail.
It's going to fail, and that's what happened with a lot of our black-owned businesses. And not just Gary, but other communities too. My dad, my granddad were business owners. My grandfather, my father, first black dealership from Pontiac in Chicago. They taught us the business aspect, which I teach my kids. Because I don't know what might happen to me today. God might have another plan for me.
Right.
And if we don't pick our younger generation up and teach them, first of all, we got to teach them finances.
Right.
Because if we don't teach them finances, they can get a good job. As we see with a lot of our entertainers, basketball players,
Yep.
and other, they was never taught about their money.
And they end up broke. They end up broke.
They end up broke.
Right. Thank you for your call. I got two other calls. These calls have been waiting. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Yes.
Hey.
Let me turn that off.
What's going on, brother?
Life is good. Life is good.
Well, that's always good.
Organization that was created in 1904, and I can't call the actual Greek name of it, but it has a nickname that's called the Boule. B-O-U.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Okay. Now, all of these black people, the so-called elite, the folks who were college educated, the mayors, the Jesse Jacksons, the Mayor Hatches of the world were part of this.
Really?
I believe.
Really?
Okay, I'm not known for sure, but I believe. So my question, much like Martin Luther King said, did they lead us into a burning house?
Right. Integration.
Through integration, through the way that they handled things. Was there somebody else? You know, they might have been the puppets work, but was somebody else controlling the string? And it's something, you know, everybody deals with this great legacy. I've seen a billboard, the great legacy of it all. But I still got a question. Whether or not this burning house that we've been in, and just don't think it happened in Gary, because it happened in my hometown in the state of New York, once the black mayor came into during that 1968 Black Power movement with the amount of social integration that was going on, all of that. Still my question, were we led into a burning house, and are we still there today with those people who are the puppets? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be quiet. Listening to Kyrie Irving talk about whether or not he's gonna get the vaccine, and hearing him say that Stephen A. Smith was just a puppet. You know, he's not the producer, but he's popular. And a lot of our popular people, you know, the ones that great orators,
Right.
they are always the puppet, but they never control them. So that's something that I gotta keep an eye on. You know, were we led into a burning house by these people that were put up front to say these are your black leaders? Always got an eye on people who are great orators because they speak well, but there's little action behind it. So that's just my question of query. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your call. Call in anytime, sir. I got another call on the line here. Hello, caller.
Hey, what's up, Scott?
What's up? It's all good, brother. What's up with you?
Hey, you want to know something about me?
His legacy. What do you think his legacy is? Could you turn down your radio?
Hang on, let me grab a remote. He was uncorruptible.
Right.
He was above corruption.
That's saying a lot.
Well, you know, the FBI opened an office in the federal building downtown the year after he got elected. In a year after he lost the election, the next year they left.
Really?
So they were constantly investigating Hatcher all while he was in office. They called a lot of people around him, took him to prison, and you know what people were saying?
What?
So-and-so went to jail for Hatcher. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some of those people died in jail. There's no such thing as that type of loyalty. If you go to jail, you're going for yourself. But them saying that these people went to jail for Hatcher. But they never caught Hatcher doing anything.
Right.
So they caught people around him. You know, if you give a person enough rope to hang himself, he'll do it. Get the food.
Yeah.
But Mayor Hatcher, as far as we can tell, he was uncorrupted. He was above it.
Wow.
Some of them died in prison. Look how many politicians since Hatcher left office, how many politicians around here that went to jail for corruption?
Right. A lot.
A lot of them. But Hatcher says as a shining example.
Right.
If he had got caught, if he had done anything, they would have caught him.
Right. I get. Well, I just covered earlier the former mayor of Portage. He just got caught. He's got sentenced.
Look at all these guys around here.
Right.
So that's what I have to say about it.
Right.
That there's lots of other things I could say, but the one thing is that he was above corruption.
Right.
Uncorruptible.
Well, thank you for your call, sir.
Okay.
We got to go to a break here, but before we do, I wanted to play something by Congressman Andre Carson. Caller, hold on until we get back. I'll get you when we get back from the commercial break. I wanted to play this from Congressman Andre Carson honoring our former mayor, Richard Gordon Hatcher, when he learned of his passing. We'll be right back here on WLTH 1370 AM. Give me a call, 219-885-1371. And if you're online, please hold on. I want to talk to you.